I'm Marc Kruskol from MJK Public Relations, and I'm in the ring where it matters.
In the ring where it matters.
We're joined now by Mr. Marc Kruskol from MJK Public Relations. Marc, it's a big honor to have you with us today.
Well, I'm pleased to be here, my friend. We've communicated so much, and finally I get to see you face to face. And I really appreciate all your support through the years. And we finally get to do this.
We finally got to, and the honor is all ours. Let's start from the beginnings. Were you a wrestling fan as a child growing up?
I was absolutely a wrestling fan. I grew up in Chicago. It was long before I knew anything about what the territory system was. I thought, this is wrestling. And I grew up with Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher, Bobby Heenan when he was managing the Blackjacks, Larry Hennig, Harley Race, all those folks from that area. From what I learned later, they also did Indianapolis and Detroit, and they were part of that whole territory. So that was fantastic. I remember the only thing I knew about wrestling in other places is when I'd buy the wrestling magazines and I would read them on my way to my orthodontist, and I would put it down before I went to my appointment, and he would look at it and laugh. And here I am for about the past maybe 15 years or so doing PR in the wrestling business. I either can't or didn't learn or whatever to do a drop kick or have a finishing move, but I'm able to work in the industry of my dreams. I've done that a few times, so I've been very lucky. I always wanted to be a radio disc jockey. I became a radio disc jockey. I wanted to work in the wrestling business. I'm attached in my little way to the pro wrestling business. Entertainment's always been a thing. So for the past 4 years or so, I've been a background actor. So
dreams come
many
true.
many people never get to do any of their dream jobs. I've been fortunate to done 3 of them.
Wow. And we've been fortunate to talk to you. So as a child, who were your favorite wrestlers? Stars that you liked watching?
Like I said, I mean, I bought into it. I wasn't like these cool fans now who love the bad guys. I like the good guys. I like Bruiser and Crusher, and horrible, hated Baron Von Raschke, dastardly Bobby Heenan, and the Blackjacks cheating all the time. And then eventually, hopefully, they got their comeuppance. But they were the ones. I mean, you've seen what I post on Facebook and what I share, and those were the times. Although I did really get tired of Vern Gagne winning all the time, but it was a different time when the champions, especially if they owned the territory, they stayed champion for a very, very long time.
They did.
Things are quite different now, but I knew what I knew, which wasn't anything. And maybe this will kind of segue into, or precursor to what we may talk about later. I think it was a better time as a fan when we didn't have spoilers, when we didn't know what was going on, even moving forward. I mean, because I was 13, 14, 10 back then, but moving forward, when we could be surprised, because just like I'm guessing almost every, if not every, pro wrestling journalist, they grew up, they became fans by not knowing what was going to happen. Anything could happen. Now, whether that was WWE, NWA, WCW, whatever it was, even ECW, most of the time you didn't know what to do. Maybe you kind of thought or whatever, and there were people who may have subscribed to different sheets or whatever one would call them, and maybe they got a little bit of inside information. I never did, but I'm guessing all the information wasn't put out there, just enough to keep people interested, because obviously David Copperfield is not making the Statue of Liberty disappear.
Yes.
But I don't want to know how he does it. Even the most simple trick that every magician does, that if I Googled or looked at the correct thousands of YouTube videos, I'd learn how someone got cut in half. I'd learn how all these card tricks got done, but I don't want to.
Yeah, we want to be astonished.
Yeah, I want to be entertained. I don't want to pull the curtain back. I don't need that. I don't need to, oh, I know how that happens. Then why watch it? I mean, let's face it. I mean, that's how I became a fan, and I'm sure that's how most people did, by watching everything that goes on, taking it all in. It's like when people use that F word about pro wrestling. I said, okay, well, do you think Bruce Willis was really hanging from the towers in Century City? Do you think all this is really happening? So how is it relevant? Are you buying into it? Are you entertained for this amount of time? Is it a good story? Is it moving it along? Are you engaged?
Are you able to suspend your belief?
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And I think the wrestlers now have a harder time because of all the information out there. So now they have to really tell a good story. And thank goodness that there are plenty of men and women out there that are doing that.
I agree with you completely. So let's move forward to, how did you get involved with it later on? You said that it was a dream of yours as a child and growing up. Later on, when you started working in public relations, how did you manage to start representing wrestlers and wrestling organizations?
Well, yeah, I started working in public relations at a movie studio. So I learned what I'll call it real PR, because you deal with every outlet, ET and Access and Reuters and Associated Press and BBC and every big outlet and every local outlet and everything in between. So you learn things. And I heard about a pro wrestling organization, coincidentally enough, in Palmdale, California, where I live now, but I was not living here at the time. And their talent, they would, of course, like typical, from what I understand, independents, would bring in a really well-known person or two, and then the other people on the card were the main really strong people in the territory. So I lived in California, so we had Southern California people and maybe some Northern who would go around. So I started working with a smaller federation that was actually run by Melissa Anderson's father. And Christopher Daniels was there. John Cena was there. Samoa Joe was there. Eventually, I worked with Frankie Kazarian. So all the Southern California people, the Ballard brothers, lots of Southern California people who eventually moved to different areas or stayed, whatever it may be. I saw them wrestle in small venues, just like a lot of people saw them wrestle in small venues. And it was fantastic. And I got to be friendly with some, and I offered my services for free to Christopher Daniels. And because I knew I wanted to get into it, kind of show what I could do. Of course, then independents weren't paying a lot, so it was good. I was getting experience. He was getting help from me, and it was a fantastic arrangement that we had. So I got him pressed in our papers and different things here and there, kind of built up, and then he got signed to WCW, and then things happened there. So So that was my first kind of taste or foray into pro wrestling PR. And then I stayed working for him. And then I started working a little bit with other folks. Colt Cabana I worked with a bunch. Then I worked with some people at Impact. Actually, it was TNA at the time. So it was Chris. I worked with Austin Aries a bunch, Davey Richards a bunch, and other people. That went on, did stuff here and there with Chris and others. And then I kept pitching and kept pitching, kept trying to get on with the Ring of Honor. And finally, after several years, I sent something, again, something went off in my head. I got to send something to Joe Koff again. So I sent something, and I'm thrilled that they said, yeah, we'll give this a try. And it was about a 6-year try, and it was fantastic. Yeah. Up until their sale to AEW, I mean, it was fantastic. Worked with some incredible talent, men and women, and made some great friends. Got an opportunity to go to New York for the first time. I got to play Madison Square Garden just like they did. I met a lot of pro wrestling journalists that I had talked to, not even on the phone, too many, but emails, a few on the phone. I got to see people face to face, which was one of the best parts of the whole thing, actually getting to meet people who I've been talking to for years. And I also got to go to New Orleans for the first time because they had a big show there. And the way I ran it, just like I was doing a press junket at a movie studio, we had roundtables. We had talent at each table. We had press at each table, and we moved them around just like a roundtable if it was a big movie. That's how we did it, because that's the only way I know how to do PR, is do it right and do it professionally, because they're stars. And if they're stars, they have to be presented like stars. They have to act like stars. And that was fantastic. It worked out really, really well. And I loved it.
A lot of those names that you mentioned, I mean, I could ask you about them for hours. But before that, I'd like to ask you, and this is a question mainly for our audience, what is the importance of PR to the professional wrestling industry?
I think it's just like any other company. Everybody knows McDonald's. Everyone knows they're there. Everyone knows they're on every other corner, Starbucks, whatever. They still have a PR department. You need to reinforce the brand. You need to reinforce what they could do, the good stuff that they do, everything like that. Pro wrestling, the same thing. And WWE has it, AEW has it, GCW. I'm guessing they have some sort. In some way, large or small, they have a PR department. WWE, I would compare them to any studio I've worked at or with. And when I worked at Ring of Honor, a movie studio / WWE was the bar that I was going for. Some people thought it might be unrealistic. I did not. If I saw, I mean, I wanted to do things, and especially if I saw WWE do something, I said, we're going to do it. I'm going to do it. And as a team, not solely me, because it takes a lot of the pieces to work together, we visited a lot of children's hospitals, because that's a big thing. Community outreach is really important to me. That's the best part of my job. And it's not on the job description. It's not something they tell me, okay, you have to do this. This is what you're going to do. No, that is just what I like to do. And then things like throwing out the first pitch of a baseball game. Yeah. We were able to set that up. I talked to the right people, met the right folks, and we did that with several teams. I don't know many other non-WWE pro wrestling companies that had their talent throw out first pitches We did minor league, but also at Major League Baseball games, a few times with the White Sox, with the Cubs. I had Matt Taven. We sorted it out. He's from Boston, big Red Sox fan. We got him to throw out the first pitch at Fenway Park. I don't know if it was a bigger thrill for him or me and us to accomplish that. And that really made me happy, seeing how happy it made him. And also, of course, exposing Ring of Honor to a more mainstream audience. And
we're going to ask who is this company.
I'm sorry?
I said, of course, because people are going to start asking, who is this company? Who is this organization that are going to the hospital or throwing the first pitch? That's going to get them.
Exactly. And for every company, let's say NWA, it is a very powerful wrestling company in history. And my job and our job is to bring in more fans, let more fans know about it. And the way to do that is through PR. Again, getting our talent into children's hospitals, getting them involved in different events like throwing out first pitches or any other sporting event. Because of my years doing this and knowing who I won't say closeted, but wrestling fans that you wouldn't think are wrestling fans, which I have found people everywhere from the editor of a huge Hollywood trade publication to Robert Flores, who used to be with ESPN, now he's with MLB Network. I knew he was a wrestling fan. Super great guy, was always good to me and trying to get us working together. And then one day I'm watching the All-Star game weekend. He's calling a celebrity game, and The Miz happened to be playing. And he's all over it, talking about The Miz, and ringing my head. All right, I've got to contact him again, see if we could get NWA going. We have the big NWA 74 show coming up. I'm going to offer him our owner and president, Billy Corgan. And I sent him a message on Facebook. He said he would talk to his people. It all came together, and it was a fantastic episode because Billy is a big Cubs fan. So they were able to talk about wrestling and baseball, and it was a perfect segment. So again, we exposed the NWA to a bigger audience, and we also exposed Billy Corgan, who of course is known for Smashing Pumpkins, and let people know, oh look, he's doing this too. We need to watch this. And that's fantastic, and it all comes together. And I really like it when it's a win for everybody, because that's what it is. Because it takes everybody to put it all together. I mean, someone might have the idea, and that's fine, and that's fantastic. So now let's all come together. We got to give this person artwork. Who's going to do that? We need some good clips. Who's going to do that? We need all this. So we all come together as a team and present the NWA and whomever it is. But now I'm fortunate to be working with the NWA now. Let the wrestling fans out there, and maybe some fans who are not tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or Fight or pay-per-views, they could see what we do. And when you look at the NWA, especially NWA Power, USA, it's like, wow, this looks like what I watched when I was younger. Exactly. This is what made me a fan. The studio wrestling, athletics, it's different, not better, not worse, different.
Yeah,
different. And other things that are out there. And there's a familiarity to it. Familiar, and the athleticism and everything that's going on. And it's also a lot more intimate, and you could really get into it. So
Exactly.
again, I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm so happy to have connected with another great company.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But again, I'd like to go back to the Ring of Honor days and those 6 years that you mentioned that were really beautiful. Because again, I also am a huge Ring of Honor fan, and I was saddened by the demise, more or less, of the organization in its original form. So one of the things that I'm a little curious about is when the transition happened. I personally expected that you and the rest of the team would stay with the organization. What are your thoughts of the current state of Ring of Honor now?
I think they're still sorting it out. I mean, they have champions. They have people there who I worked with and loved working with. I mean, I work with Jay all the time. Consummate professional, incredible in the ring, incredible on the mic, incredible when I brought him to TV stations or anywhere to do interviews. So the talent is there. And I don't think we could really say what it's going to be, because I don't really think it's been fleshed out yet to what it's really going to be. I hope it'll be great. I mean, I'm one of those folks that want every pro wrestling company to do well, because it's a whole industry, and I also believe the competition is really good for any industry. Otherwise, there's no reason for any company in any industry to try to get better.
Exactly.
And I know it's very cliched, but I mean, it's true. It shows. Look at the WCW versus WWE. When WWE had pressure on them for those 83 weeks or whatever it was, they had to do something about it, whether it was get better, whether it was change, whether it was add this,
Brought out the best of them,
whatever it was.
the best of everybody.
Yeah, they had to do something. And I think Ring of Honor, I mean, they have the library, of course. They have a lot of talent that have been in Ring of Honor. I mean, going back even a ways. I mean, now that Claudio's there, that kind of goes back a ways.
Yeah.
And then further on. I mean, I worked with a lot of the people that are at AEW. So of course, I mean, they did what they were going to do personnel wise, and that's fantastic. I mean, obviously, if they know what they're doing, they have a big company. I wish it would have turned out differently at the time, but I'm really happy what I'm doing now with NWA, and I hope everyone at AEW does well. I mean, they're going to, and the Ring of Honor, however they work that out, I think it'll be great. But I mean, just look at their roster. It's fantastic. NWA's roster is fantastic. I mean, we have Trevor as our champion. We have Camille as our women's champion. We've got Nick. We've got Matt Cardona. We've got Tyrus. We've got great people. EC3 is in there. Red Titus is in there. We've got people who I've worked with before. We've got people who are kind of new to me, but we've gotten to know each other well. They're all super cooperative and happy to do interviews. So that makes me happy. It makes my job easier. And I'm really fortunate that people like yourselves, the Pro Wrestling Press, want and are eager to talk to them. So it's a win all the way around. And I've always wanted to make that was one of the things when I started with ROH and now here. I want to be able to make the talent available. Sometimes that's not always the case with some companies. And again, they have their way of doing it, and that's fine. I don't worry about that. I worry about, I want my talent out there if they're willing to do it. And for the most part, they are. And I would love the press folks to talk to them to really get an insight into them, and just increase things in this business, and let fans know about talent that they may not have heard of, but it's like, wow, look at these, because everyone was them at some point. I mean, a lot of these people are right up there with any talent. I mean, Tyrus, again, and Matt Cardona, and Camille, and Nick Aldis, and I could go on and on and on. They're A-list pro wrestlers. Taya Valkyrie, I mean, she's the #1 contender. We have a pay-per-view coming up, Hard Times in New Orleans, on November 12th. And she's a #1 contender. We've got a triple threat with Tyrus and Trevor and Matt Cardona. So,
which is amazing, yeah.
So, all right, so our events can match any. So it's a thrill to be able to contact any pro wrestling journals. Hey, would you like to talk to this person or this and this? Yeah, we'll take them all. We'll take anyone. And because our talent is so top notch, people want to talk to them. And I want to be able to help make it all happen, and just do the best I could with my little part, and get the NWA back up to where it was. We have some incredibly great momentum from our last pay-per-views and our fight shows and YouTube shows, and people are really learning about it and loving it.
That's a very healthy perspective on the whole thing. And it's something that I personally am looking forward to, because there are a lot of great talent that you have there that you talked about that I would love to talk to as well on this show. So one of the things that I would like to ask about is, as a person now working behind the scenes, and one of the things that draws us to wrestling is the personalities, the personas. A lot of them are really interesting people. Did you find them to be the same behind scenes, or is it very different?
You don't want me to pull that curtain back now, do you?
Just a little for our audience.
The people that I've met have all been good to me. Like I said, obviously I emailed them, I talked to them and say, okay, I'd like to set up an interview with you and Allah, and this is the outlet. When are you available? This is his availability, and we do that. If you look at, any given character, I mean, obviously, if someone is very, very, very much in character, one would think, okay, they probably aren't like that 24/7. Although some characters in pro wrestling might think, that person lives their character 23 hours and 59 minutes a day. So they are good people. I couldn't work with someone or people who are not good people. I'm too old for that. It works out well, because just like anything in my life, okay, I want to know what I'm working with. Okay, this person will give me 5 minutes because they've got a million things to do. Not because they're so important, but they got this, and they're going on a flight for a weekend to do this, or they're got a book signing here, or a Comic-Con here, or this here. Okay, I'll give you whatever amount of time. And then there's others, which I completely understand. This is their character. This is what they are. They do not want to break character. It's like they don't want to be the horrible, horrible person that takes steps and hits someone over the head and yells at their wife and yells at their whatever, and they're the complete bad guy. And then on their interviews, they sound like the greatest person. That's fine, and I know people that are like that, and they're wonderful. Others don't want to do that. So I respect it. So I understand where they're all coming from. I try to talk to them. I try to get an idea. Where are you coming from? Some don't want to do interviews, and that's okay too. Again, it's let me know what we're working with, and we're going to make this fun. I let them know this person, this media person, I've never heard anything bad about. So it'll go fine. And I always ask them, how did it go? It went fine. It was easy. They were really nice. They were really respectful. And if something goes the other way, then just like everything in life, there are consequences. And there have been times where an interview went a way that it should not have, and it was unnecessary, and it has to be dealt with.
Okay. Do you have any funny or interesting stories that you've seen during your journey as a wrestling PR person? Anything that is interesting, anything that really sticks out that you'd like to tell us?
I would have to think about that. I mean, I'm sure things have happened. I mean, one thing, unless it affects how I pitch press, I never want to know what's going to happen in a match. Again, I'm a fan. And that doesn't mean I approach it only as a fan, but I am a fan. I think if you're going to do PR for someone or something, you have to like what it is you got to like that industry. Just like if you're a writer, if you're going to be a baseball writer or a soccer writer or a film writer or a medical writer, whatever it is, you have to have some interest and like what it is. Otherwise, it's going to come off horrible. It's going to come off like you're living a lie. Yeah. So I go into it as a fan, and there have been times when I've been with certain talent who would be challenging or defending a championship. So I said, so who's going to win? He said, oh, I'm going to win, of course. And at least on one occasion that didn't happen. But I was kind of just joking around because, no, I want to be surprised. There have been sad times when a wrestler has told me, oh, by the way, you may have heard or whatever, this is going to be my last day here. And it was bad because I really liked that person. And at the end, when he or she didn't win the match, I was introduced to the person that beat that person. And we got a rapport that way because the person who lost the match, I hate wrestling terms, so I won't use them, said I was okay to the person who beat that won. And and then we got a relationship and we got some interviews going as well. But I think one of the fun stories when I was working a while back, the Independent with Daniels and Samoa Joe and all those folks, and Cena was there, and it was, if there were 50 people there, I would be surprised, maybe 100. It was very small, and I don't know where the picture is, but I have a picture with John Cena he has me in a headlock just because he was messing around. But that was when he was Prototype. Man, no, I think he was John Cena then, and then became Prototype and
he became
OVW. But yeah, it was before the OVW days. He left California and went there, and
wow,
he knew he was going to be a star. So that was fun seeing. I mean, knowing what I know now about these men and women, seeing them then. I mean, Ivory was there, and then they would bring in people. So Greg Valentine was there one time, and Yokozuna was there one time. So it was really fun. And then learning what I learned, and just like any PR stuff that I do, whether it was at the studio, whether it was with independent films that I also do now, when you pitch a press person and they say, yes, we'll talk to them, that's fantastic. I mean, it's no secret that Colt Cabana is Jewish. So I pitched him to the Chicago Jewish News, and they did a cover story. That made me feel good that, okay, this all came together for everybody. The outlet's going to have a great story. Cabana's going to have a great story on him. It looks like I'm earning my keep, so that's a good thing. And of course, it's kind of a little bit of an ego thing, saying, yeah, we got this. It's just like anyone that kind of does a good job, that, yeah, it feels good because, okay, this is what they're paying me to do, and it actually came through. So especially a big publication like that, an important publication. So that was fun. And just being around, especially, I mean, most of the talent's really nice, but when people are exceptionally nice, I mean, that's always good, of course.
That's really interesting. That's really great to hear. And again, you mentioned being creative in your approach and trying to get the talent out there and talking to different outlets and different newspapers and different magazines and things. But do you think that the fact that kayfabe is more or less not a thing anymore, and that people are, let's say, more aware of the wrestling industry, people know about it more now, does that affect you as a PR person? Does it make it harder to sell the industry to mainstream media, or do you still manage to get around that?
I don't think it's harder, because maybe in some ways it's easier, because back then a lot of people knew. I mean, very few sports sections covered pro wrestling. When I was a kid, I would look and see it there occasionally. So yeah, they did cover it, but the higher echelon media people knew, but everyone played well together. Everyone kind of understood it. And now it's fine because we're all on the same level playing field. Everybody knows. So we approach it in that way. So you're talking about creativity and pitching different outlets. So what I do when I'm introduced to talent for the first time and I introduce myself, I say, hi, I'm Marc Kruskol. I'm the publicist for NWA, for whomever. I'd like to start setting up interviews with you. Can you give me some bio information? Where do you live? Where did you grow up? Did you go to college, high school? Did you play sports? Do you have any other hobbies? All this is really important information. What are your interests outside of wrestling? Because there are genre publications and websites that cover everything under the sun, everything. So something very popular and common, video game players, comic book aficionados, but things that they like. Some people like cigars, whatever. So I would pitch that press, especially comic book people. I've had so many talent, and sometimes they're pro wrestling writers, but sometimes not. Talking to video game outlets because, hey, I represent so and so. He or she is a huge gamer. How about if we do a story on what's their favorite game? What was their first? What's their top whatever? How about if they review a game? And a lot of times that's happened. Same thing with comic books. What do you like? Are you a Marvel person? A DC person? Whatever. I mean, Chris Daniels is a huge comic book guy. And I remember bringing him to a big comic book podcast, and I was sitting there because I wanted to be there. they might as well have been speaking a different language and a different world, because they were talking, and I know who Batman is, I know who Superman is, and Spider-Man, and a few of the main eventers, but when we're talking about things that happened, and this happened to him, and how did this happen to her, I'm completely lost, which is fine. I don't need to be, because I may not be the audience. But it was great because Pro Wrestling Press, I believe, want to talk to the talent about something more than, so who trained you? Where was your first match? What's your favorite match? I mean, there are some people who I've represented, I could do the interviews for them, because a lot of times they ask the same questions. So that's why I try to encourage press people, all right, read the 2 or 5 or 10 or 100 articles that have been done. You'll get all those basics answered. Okay, you could refer to them, but ask them something else. You'll find out, oh, they like cooking. Oh, they like whiskey. Oh, they like comic books. Oh, they like skiing, and bring that up. And the wrestler will love that and really get enthusiastic about talking about their other loves. Not that wrestling is bad at all, but it's like, okay, I could talk about other things as well. And that usually goes quite well. I mean, I've seen it. I've read the articles where they talk about their favorite video games. They talk about their favorite comic books. They talk about baseball or whatever. I've gotten sports fans on whatever given sport they happen to like, whether it's American football or
baseball,
soccer, or baseball, whatever it is. They'll talk about it. Again, another getting back to Billy and talking to MLB, which is Major League Baseball, MLB.com, talking about the Cubs, his love for it, how he grew up watching it, and how he took his kids to the games, and then getting wrestling in there, and things could get woven together. And it makes for a very interesting interview, not just reading a Wikipedia page, which half the time is incorrect anyway.
Yeah, and it can be boring if you just ask the same questions again and again. You got to get creative with your questions, and you got to try to pick the talent's mind and try to figure out different aspects of their personality. I think that could be beneficial for both sides, for the talent and for the audience.
Of course, and if you do enough research, like I said, read some other articles, just Google a person's name, see what they've talked about. And if they mention something in there, it's like, okay, this is something I could dig into a little bit more. Yeah, so I do that, and I also pay attention to, okay, is this outlet a clickbaity thing? I pay attention to that. And do they do gotcha questions? Is the headline something that is only there to, again, to click, and then it's mean-spirited? Like, who's the worst wrestler who ever did blah, blah, blah? Why? Why? I mean, if I see that, I won't work with the people because it's just mean-spirited. This is not 60 minutes. And why would you do that? Would you do that? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I look at this. It's just like when it's known that a wrestler works for whomever, WWE, NWA, Ring of Honor, GC, whomever it is, if you know, and you know the correct protocol, why would you reach out to the talent directly? Would you reach out to Roman Reigns directly? Would you reach out to Stephen King directly? Would you reach out to Lady Gaga directly? Why would you reach out to our talent? There's a protocol you go through, and there are a lot of reasons behind it. You don't know what is going on in the background. Has someone else been promised an interview? Is there going to be a turn? We don't want to make the talent the bad guy by saying no, let someone else. We don't want to put anyone in a position, and I understand that the pro wrestling journalists have a job to do, and I want to support that. But let's also go through the proper channels. I mean, if I want XYZ wrestling company to talk to my talent, I don't contact the owner of the website. I don't contact the editor specifically. I contact who the writer is who I have a relationship with, because that's the dance that we do, and it works well. It's worked that way in entertainment and in business for whatever number of years, and it's fine. Unless the pro wrestling journalist has done something bad, I very rarely would say no, unless there's a good reason. There's no time, something's going on, they're not, there's some reason why. So whether it's NWA or any other company, just go through the proper channels. Now, if the person's a total independent and normally sets up their interviews, or if it's in between, then yeah. But if the interview is tied to a specific event that one of these companies is doing, and I could just say in my case, at this point, the NWA is doing, then contact me or contact the NWA, who will either handle it themselves or they'll pass it on to me, because we need to know what's going on. And then I hear, oh, I just talked to these guys. Oh, I just talked to these guys. Okay, well, that's great, but it probably shouldn't go that way.
Yeah, it should go through the proper person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So another thing I'd like to ask you about regarding the NWA is, back in the territory days, the NWA was more of an alliance that gathered a lot of smaller companies working together. Could you see the NWA in the future working in that way, cooperating, bringing other companies in with them? Like, could we see events that they could hold with other companies together? MLW, for instance, Impact, AEW, whoever who would like to work with the NWA under its umbrella?
I can't really say. As the horrible cliche goes, that's above my pay grade. That's done elsewhere. But, and I'm not trying to avoid it, it's just not something I'm involved in. But if you watch NWA, and I know you do, and all of your viewers should also, you'll see talent who have worked and do work for other companies. So that kind of answers that question on a per talent basis. Taya Valkyrie, Matt Cardona, I mean, folks like that, and also folks that are doing other independents. So yeah, I don't know how everyone or anyone's contract is structured, but you can see our talent in other companies, their talent with us. So yeah, that's how that works there. I don't know what the future holds, what's going to be. I mean, I know our shows in New Orleans are going to be kind of in conjunction with Wildcat Sports, which is a New Orleans-based wrestling company that Luke Hawx is involved in. So yeah, so there's that collaboration. And I'm sure there's going to be more collaborations of some sort. Again, whether it's single talent or companies together. But that's not something really I could speak about because I just don't know it.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, in closing, are there anything you would like, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience? Any message you'd like to send to listeners here in our region of the world about the NWA or about your work?
Just keep watching it. You could watch NWA on YouTube. They have a great channel with a lot of content. NWA Power, NWA USA. You could watch it on Fight TV. I assume it's available internationally. I know it's in the US. I know So there are so many ways. We have talent you'll recognize, some you will learn to love. And it will be, if you're one of the older fans, you'll see it. I thought, that's what I've been missing. That's why I stopped watching it after 8th grade. It got a little, and I won't use any pejoratives, it became different. But now this is nostalgia. This is what I'm used to. This is what I grew up with. I want to watch this. Oh, wow. Look at the athleticism. Look, they're doing wrestling holds. They're doing headlocks. They're doing drop kicks. They're doing finishing moves. They are doing what I grew up with. It is an athletic contest, and that's what I want to see. And that's what you'll see watching NWA. Again, our big pay-per-views coming up November 12th in New Orleans. Triple threat championship match. Taya's going to be wrestling for the NWA women's championship. A lot more things. We'll see how it fleshes out, because there's still a month and a half to go. So great stuff is coming up. As you watch the episodes, you'll see the card develop. So there's that. And and some of my other hats. I mean, I also represent some independent films that are in film festivals. I just did a very cool one called Match, which is a movie about internet dating, and it's told in a unique way. It's just told by, in this case, it's a guy and a girl, man and a woman, and it's just told through their emails and their text messages to each other. So it's very, very interesting. Could come to a town or streaming, depending on where you are. But it's good. When I heard about it, I was fortunate because the film festival, I was on their list of recommended publicists. So the filmmaker found me on it and called me, told me what it was about. I watched the trailer. I said, I could relate to a lot of this. And the research I looked at, about 30% of the adults have done online dating. I have a feeling it's more than that, but I guess there's a lot of married and together folks. So maybe not, but at least 30%. So a big population could relate to that and would really like the movie. So I have that. I've actually been talking to a couple other filmmakers about doing some of their stuff for festivals. I've done stuff for web shows, that kind of stuff. And yet my third hat, I do some background acting, which is kind of a kick. So while I'm waiting to go on set, I'm doing my PR, and then I go on set, the PR stuff goes away. I remember the first time I did it, I felt like undercover boss, because I've been on countless movie sets, countless press junkets, press screenings, premieres. Now I'm sort of on the other side in it, watching it from that perspective. So it's fun. And I tell people, yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, but don't blink or you'll miss me.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you in some of those movies. There's one you mentioned to me off air. I'm going to be watching for you, and hopefully I'll catch you in the crowd.
Yeah, that'll be probably about at least a year before that came out. And yeah, and there's another one on Netflix. It's probably in post-production now, but I'll tell you when it comes on. You could let your people know. You know that guy I interviewed 6 months or a year ago? You might be able to see him in this. So
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, so I really just do that. It's kind of a kick and gives me something to do sometimes. So it's fun.
I got to ask you one last question before I let
Sure.
you go. You've been on movie sets. You've been behind the scenes in wrestling. What is a more interesting, what is a more intense atmosphere? A wrestling a wrestling scene or a movie?
It's all intense. And again, you're thinking, okay, he's trying to avoid it. But no, I mean, if you think about it, if you're at a wrestling show, let's say a big wrestling show, when it was the ROH and New Japan show in Madison Square Garden, everything's on the line. You got cameras, you got a director, you got producers, you got everything going on. Same thing on a set. I mean, I was at the one you're talking about yesterday, and it has 2 A-list stars in it and an A-list director in it. So you know, more than that, but the ones that were there yesterday, and there's others in it. So you know, everyone has got to bring, here's another stupid cliche, their A game. Everyone's got to be on, okay? And you've got your AD, and you've got your second AD, and you've got the wranglers who are dealing with us little background people. This is what you do. This is where you stand. I'm going to cue you to do this. Everything has to work perfectly. Now, in wrestling, in a show, there is no, okay, that was great. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
No
there are no second takes or fifth takes or 10th takes, which I've been part of, like everyone in TV or film or whatever. There are, I mean, maybe on a rare occasion, they've reshot things, I've heard, but that's a rarity. So in wrestling, it's like, yeah, you have to get it right.
From the first.
Otherwise you hear the, you effed up, you effed up, you effed up. Chances are that will not happen on a set when there's an A-list actor or director, because you'll never work in this town again if you do that.
Yeah. Marc, it was a great honor and privilege to speak to you tonight. Thank you very much.
Great.
We really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to speaking to a lot of talent from NWA. I hope you enjoyed your experience with us, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much again.
All right. Have a good day. You're going to start your day. I'll be going to sleep.
Enjoy it, and we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much, sir.